pregame, just asking about their families that they left back home and how to relocate to Houston. Took them a 10-hour bus ride just to get to Houston. And when you look at the news, and I don't watch the news very much, but when you see that, it's been devastating. And so just our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in Louisiana. Questions?
Coach, your hair looks wet. Was there a pretty good celebration in the locker room?
Yeah, we actually have the same celebration all the time, and our guys enjoy throwing water at each other. So it's good to have wet hair on Saturday night. So that means we did something good. So we were. The players were excited, and they should be because they've worked very hard for it. But as we told them, it's just one game. Our goal is to be 1-0 on Saturday night, and so far we've had 2 opportunities to do it, and we've done it. So we'll regroup. We'll be back at it on Monday. We have an improvement week coming up because we're off, but there's still a lot of things we have to clean up. There's still a lot of things that we can continue to do to become a better football team, and our players love that. I think the great thing about this group is they love everything about football. They love training. They love practicing, they love playing, so it's a lot of fun to be around.
And then you had the confetti on the field, a packed Rose Bowl after last week, maybe not having too many people here. What was that environment like? Was it good to kind of get a win from that?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome, but I thought last week was awesome. I go back to last year, we didn't have any fans, and I don't think we can be greedy. We're appreciative of the group that came last weekend against Hawaii. We were more excited about we had a bigger crowd here today, and it was loud, and it was fun, and these players deserve it. I think it's a really fun team to watch and to support.
Coach, just 36 pass attempts for DTR through 2 games. What does that say about the efficiency of your run game?
It just says that I think we have the ability right now in the 2 games that we played. That's not projecting it going forward, but it's we have the ability right now to run the ball, and if we're running the ball well, we're going to stick with what's right. But I think when you look at what we hit with play action passes today, those were huge for us. So I think if you're going to start to load the box to try to take away the run, and that's the cat and mouse game that goes on during the game, and they made some adjustments, and then we had to make adjustments to their adjustments. And I thought we had one on that last drive when we went back on in 4 minutes. We tried to throw it on the first down, but Dorian knows in that situation if it's not a 100% completion, then you're going to keep it and you gain 5. So I thought he made really good decisions today, and just proud of how he played. And I think he's going to get better each week, and that's positive for us. So.
And what about your backs?
What's that? What about my backs?
Yeah.
My back's good. A little sore. I stretch, before I go on the field, and then I do see a chiropractor, but I can't get to him very often just because of our schedule. But I appreciate you asking.
I'll try to book you one. Your running backs, Charbonnet and Brown. What do you? I mean, it's back-to-back, similar performances here to start the season. Is that more or less what you want or what you expect?
I'm an equal opportunity scorer. I could care less how it gets across the goal line. We can throw it across 27 times, or we can run it across 27 times. It's just really what the defense is giving us, and we feel like we have the ability to do both. And Kyle had a big touchdown. Greg had a big touchdown pass, and Coda had one. So we threw for 3. But to have those backs, I think, is makes us feel better. So.
A scoreless first quarter for both teams, and then LSU comes out first and scores. You guys answer right back. Talk about how important it was for you guys to answer a lot of the scores that when they scored, you guys answered right back.
Yeah.
How important was that for you guys?
What we talk about a lot is that football's not a game of perfect. No one plays a perfect game, but football's a game of resiliency. So, you're not going to shut every team out you play. You're not going to score every time you get the ball, but you have to be able to have a recovery protocol when you have a bad play. How can you flush it, get out of it, and get on and move on to the next play? I think this team, it's a sign of maturity that they can do that. So, they scored first. Great. Then we have to answer, so to speak. And I thought we really did that today.
How impressed were you with your defense and the way they were able to kind of produce some of those defensive stands that they did?
Yeah, and don't get this the wrong way and write this as a headline. I'm not impressed with their defense. It's what I expect from our defense. I've seen it all the time from them. I think it's a really, really good unit. I think we have depth up front. I think we have depth in linebacker. I think we have depth in the secondary. You saw us changing groupings out there. It was like watching a hockey game, changing lines, but it's because I think our defensive staff did a great job of keeping everybody fresh. Every guy, in that whole group that played, there was about 25 of them, was just so dialed in on the game plan and knew exactly what to do. And there's not a drop off when you go from one group to another group, which is really cool. But I've been impressed with them for a long time. I think maybe some other people are starting to think that, but I've been really happy with our defense for a while now.
Chip, what maturity progressed over the year after year. So many people you've had for a few years.
Yeah.
What maturity are you seeing right now in the field in different areas?
You know, that's a great question. You know, I think in everything. I just think it's a really disciplined group. You know, when we have a team meeting, you know, I look at my watch and it's 8 minutes early, everybody's in their seat. You know, they understand that if you embrace the process will embrace you back. And I think these guys are getting out of it exactly what they put into it. And the cool part of the mature part of it is that they're actually putting more into it because they want more out of it. You know, and it's the greatest game ever invented because you can't fake football. You can't half-ass it during a week of prep and then show up on Saturday and just play. It takes everything. You know, and I told our team last Saturday, we played an afternoon game, and I told them in the locker room after the game, I said, guys, just so we're on the same page, I said, you're not going to beat LSU tonight on Saturday night, but you can lose to LSU tonight. And it's how you handle your lifestyle and what you do when you're not in our building. And that's the maturity that I think that we see on the field on Saturdays is the maturity that I see every day from this group. Thank you.
I know you like to kind of keep a short-term focus, but what does a big win like this have, or what are the benefits of a big win like this in terms of the week-to-week process, the day-to-day process?
Yeah, like as I just said, I think our players are understanding if you embrace the process, then the process will embrace you back. But the great thing about football is no one cares tomorrow. You know, our next opponent does not care. You know, Fresno's a really good football team, but next week is an improvement week for us. It's not a bye week. It's not an open date. You know, we're not going to Cabo, you know, and taking 5 days off and then showing back up and getting ready for Fresno. You know, we'll be back at it on Monday. We have a really good plan on how we work on our improvement weeks. And the great part about this group is that's what they want. If you ask them, you know, what do you guys want to do? They don't want a day off. They want to work, and that's a fun part for us. So we'll be back at it on Monday. We'll have a couple of days off sprinkled in there, but we got a lot of work to do, and we understand that. But to have this feeling on a Saturday, there may be some people surprised out there. There wasn't anybody surprised in our locker room because of the preparation that they put in this week. So.
Hey, Coach, how key was it to put pressure on Johnson? He did not seem comfortable out there.
He's a really good player, and I'll tell you what, he's a tough son of a gun because we hit him, and he just kept getting up. You know, he was as impressive a guy as I've seen standing in there. And I think one of the qualities of a quarterback that people don't talk about enough is their toughness. And I thought he just stood in there, and our guys kept hitting him, and he kept bouncing back. And he and David made that play late there with 4 minutes. You know. To Boutte that went down the sideline, you know, they fought. You know, it was fortunate that our offense didn't give them the ball back. But I believe if we did give them the ball back, that they were going to come out slinging it again. So that's a really good quarterback right there. I got a lot of respect for him.
What can you say about Quentin Lake? He seemed to be everywhere on the field today.
Yeah, Q's, you know, one of our leaders. He's a special guy, you know, and really leads by example. You know, talk about a guy who's got a work ethic. Talk about a guy who loves football. That's Q Lake, and what you guys see today is what we see every day in training sessions. So. Where's Ben?
He's writing his story.
Okay. Just tell him I was asking for him.
I'll type it in right now.
Please.
Hey Chip, I know you try and treat each game like it's the game that week, but like after the game,
that's a novel concept, right? Because we only play one game a week.
But after the game tonight, you've got your AD hugging players on the way into the locker room. Commissioner Kleofkoff was down there high-fiving your players and celebrating with them.
That's the fun part of winning.
That's the fun part. Is it going to be hard to rein them back in?
Not this team. This team's really mature and they understand it. But I think sometimes if you maybe didn't believe you going into the game that you were going to win the game, then maybe that's when you got to rein some guys in because they start to think they're a little bit better than they are. But they know exactly what they are, and that's what makes me proud of this group is that they know they got to come to work on Monday. You know, and it's an improvement week for us. So we were nice enough to give them a half hour later start, so they earned it.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
You talked about just the expectation and the level of expectation about your defense, and you guys held LSU to 48 yards rushing. How big is this win just mentally for this defense as far as you guys moving forward and be able to execute week in and week out?
I think it's a good question. I think it's something we can build on. You know, and I think part of it is when you can then go back and watch the tape and see what we did right to stop that for them, and then understand, you know, where they fit in the schemes. I thought our guys did a really good job in their run fits. You know, I think our coach's job is to put our players in position to make plays, and then the cool part about this group is they go out and execute it. You know, and I think it's a really smart group. we do a lot of things. We can be complicated on the defensive side for the other team to look at. I think it's actually really simple for our players to understand, and they do a great job of that. But it looks complex to the teams you're facing, and give all the credit to our players. They really executed the plan that our defensive staff put into place, and I thought they were awesome tonight.
Thank you.
Chip, I think you said earlier the biggest improvement from the team is from first game to second game.
Yeah.
How much of an advantage was it this was your second game against an LSU?
No, that's a really good point. You know, the fact that we had a game under our belt. There's so many things that occurred in the first game that you get right in the film room and fix because you don't know. You know, and I think it was huge that we had a chance to play that Week 0 game, and that was a positive for us. So I'd like to amend that statement. I hope your biggest improvement is from Week 2 to Week 3, and see if we can continue to get better as a group. So,
Think you guys deserve to be ranked?
what's that?
Think you guys deserve to be ranked?
I don't care. Where you're ranked, and what are we? Are we in August or in September? September. It really doesn't matter. You know, I think what's important is these guys know. You don't have to write down a ranking for these guys. They know they played really well tonight. They also know on Monday nobody cares. So, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. It's good to talk about it for other people, but not for us. So. Will you talk about it?
For an AP and we do the poll.
You gotta talk about it. Where would you rank us?
I don't know. I gotta wait for the rest of the week to sort of.
Rest of the week, sort of. That was a good answer. That was called blocking the bridge. That was really good. I do that a lot.
All right, thanks.
Anything else? Thanks.